Hello and welcome to episode 1 of my Football Manager 2016 Let's Play. I'm Kev, and as you can see, the internet has spoken, and for the next couple of weeks at least, I am the manager of Tottenham Hotspur. This is the last time I let the internet decide who I'm managing in Football Manager. Maybe. We'll see how it goes. Basically, what I'm going to do, have a little bit of a tour around what's been going on in pre-season, have a look at the players I've brought in, and the many players who have left or are trying to leave. And then I've got the first game of the season ready to do a live com later in the episode, which is away to Chelsea. So I imagine we're going to kick things off by getting stuffed as well. But if we start off with the transfers, because this is the big issue I'm finding with Tottenham already, and that is everyone wants to leave, and the biggest culprits are Man United. They're just trying to rob all our players. They basically come in with a fairly low offer. I decline it, obviously. The players then get in a grumpy. No matter what I say to them, I can't convince them they want to stay. And then Man United come back in with a slightly higher offer. And I kind of have the choice between keeping hold of the player and them sulking, or letting them go and trying to reinvest the money somehow. As you can see, they've done it with 2 players already. They've had probably what would have been our 2 starting centre-backs as well, Federico Fazio and Jan Vertonghen. They've also tried to do this with Harry Kane, who I've resisted selling so far, mainly because he's the only striker in the Tottenham squad, which again I didn't realise when I agreed to manage this club, that I'd have to be trying to work with just the one striker, and I haven't been able to bring anyone in to replace him, to either work with him or potentially replace him, as and when he eventually goes to Man United. So yeah, those 2 guys have gone for a combined 41 million, and there's been a few other players who've gone out on loan as well. So I've kind of, you can see by the dates of these transfers, I'm sort of in panic buy mode almost. I've spent most of the summer, as Spurs did in real life, trying to sign Saido Berahino from West Brom. Eventually agreed a fee that, well, it was a ridiculous fee. It was like £40 million, but then couldn't agree personal terms with him. And now it looks like he's going to go to Man United as well, which, fingers crossed, will mean they'll leave Harry Kane alone and I can maybe keep him at the club. The players I've brought in a couple of players who I wouldn't normally look to sign this kind of player, but they were cheap and filled a gaping hole in the centre of my defence, which is made even more gaping by the fact that the only other senior centre back, whose name escapes me, this guy Toby Alderweireld, he's injured for 5 months. He's injured his foot. He's broken his foot, which is rubbish. So I kind of was left with not having any options at centre-back. So I brought in 2 ageing Brazilians, both for 2.2 million each. We've got Jeromel, who's come in from, where did he come from? Grêmio in Brazil, 2.2 million. He's old, 29. He looks decent enough. Certainly decent enough for 2.2 million. He'll do a job at least until the next transfer window comes round, and I imagine by then we'll be reinvesting some of the Harry Kane money. Same situation with Alex. This is the Alex who used to play for Chelsea however many years ago, since been at Paris Saint-Germain and AC Milan. He's 33 now, but again, he'll do a job for this season, which I guess that's pretty much the only option I've got, bringing in some oldish players. I couldn't find a decent centre-back who was willing to sign for me. I did have a bid accepted for John Stones, but he ended up going to Chelsea. We did agree terms with him, but he decided to go to Chelsea anyway. Our other signings that we brought in, this guy Ganso looks quite good. He's a 25-year-old Brazilian who can play in central midfield or as an attacking midfielder. He's only cost us 5 million. He's kind of at the club as a first reserve in both of those positions, really. You can see his value's already shot up to nearly £18 million. Could end up being a bargain. Not necessarily got a spot to go straight into in the starting lineup, but very happy to have him knocking around as a reserve, and obviously to probably push for a first team spot as the season goes on. My big summer signing is this guy Dries Mertens. Please use the chat to tell me how to pronounce some of these players' names. I'm very much a lower league man. I watch posh matches and I watch League One matches. anything that's going on in the wider football world. I don't really know what's happening, so I'm probably pronouncing all of these players' names wrong. Please let me know in the chat how to pronounce them and I'll correct myself for future episodes. But the reason I signed this guy, he's getting on a bit. He's 28 years old, but he can play anywhere across the three attacking midfield spots or up front, and very important that we've got someone who can offer some competition to Harry Kane for what's realistically going to be a lone striker role. I'm going to play the formation you'll be very familiar with if you've watched my Up the Posh series on FM15. It's going to be a 4-2-3-1, which means Martins has got 4 potential spots that he can come into the side on. Probably going to play him out wide as his main starting spot as an inside forward, but he has the option to cover in any of those positions. And then the last player who came in yesterday, so the afternoon before the first game of the season, he actually arrived after the pre-match press conference. So I've not even been able to discuss him with the media yet. But Alex Witsel, 26-year-old Belgian, played loads and loads of games. Anyone who's played Football Manager for any length of time will be familiar with this name. I've certainly seen him knocking around over the years. And he can play central midfield, advanced playmaker, or can sort of provide cover in most of the rest of the attacking options. He's just going to be my starting central midfielder, which is just as well because another player Man United are looking to nick off me, this guy, Nabil Bentaleb. I think it's Man United who are chasing him as well. Yeah, I mean, how much money have this football club got is ridiculous. Let's see how many players they've signed so far. They're just all from me. They're trying to sign the whole Tottenham squad, which is bizarre. Why don't they just buy the club? It'd probably be cheaper than buying all the players individually. So they're the comings and goings. Tactics-wise, this is how we're going to be lining up. As I say, very similar to my, very similar to my posh formation. At this stage, it is my posh formation from FM15. I've just imported it all into FM16. We'll see how it gets on. It may not work in this new, in the new match engine. Certainly the team instructions, because all this screen has massively changed from FM15, it's matched up as closely as it can to how I had the team playing previously, but it could well be that I'm going to have to make some tweaks to this as the season has gone on, as the season goes on, sorry, but this is how we're going to line up. We've got a slightly more defensive version of it as well, which we can use as and when it's needed, but certainly initially, and I may well live to regret having this in the first game of the season away to Chelsea, but we're going for it with the full-on attacking 4-2-3-1, and this is going to be the lineup that we go with. So our 2 brand new Brazilian centre-backs are going to be paired together. Danny Rose, Liverpool have been chasing him up, he's actually injured, so we're playing Ben Davies at left-back, Eric Dier at right-back. There was a bit of a decision to make whether I bring him into centre-back and perhaps promote Kyle Walker to right-back, but in the end, I've gone for Dier today. Whether he's going to be able to offer enough attacking that this formation needs, I'm not sure, so it might be longer term he moves into the centre-back position and we bring Walker in to go at right back. Central midfield, Bentaleb and Witsel. And then this attacking 4, very happy with as a first choice attacking 4. There's not much in the way of backup for them. We've got Ganso, the new guy, and then we've got Chadley and Son, who can come in and challenge for those positions as well. But it really is, the squad's looking a little thin once we get past the first choice team. And I'm still not entirely sure that's a Premier League back 4, but until we can identify some better defenders that we can bring in to replace these spots, and realistically now we're going to need the money to do that as well, so we've pretty much spent everything we've got on the more attacking players, so it's going to have to make do at least until we've sold a couple more players to free up some more money and we can reshuffle some of the money in the squad around again. So let's see how we get on. Let's go and play this game against Chelsea. Which I assumed we were ready for. There we go. So, what do you know? We're on the telly as well. So let's submit our team. One thing I do want to make sure is that it's brought our... Yeah, it has brought our team instructions across. That's fine. So let's just submit this team. Yep, 5 new players getting squad numbers. That shows how busy we've been in the transfer market. Let's just auto number them. That's fine. Submit those. No, we don't need to see that again. I think I'm pretty comfortable with submitting squad numbers. Obviously, Chelsea are the favourites for this match. I'd be happy not to get embarrassed, I think, in this game. Yeah, I've appointed a director of football. That was my other big change. I like having a director of football knocking around. But yeah, let's see how we get on, I guess. Yeah, go out there and give the fans their money's worth. I'm happy with those instructions. So, one big change you'll notice in the match engine immediately is that the players all have a little conditioning meter underneath their little number, or if you're in the 3D view, it hovers over their head. I think you'll see that. I don't know if you see that on the replays, but I had a little look at a game on the 3D match engine when I was having a little play around before I started this video. Yeah, not a lot's happening. We're nearly 15 minutes in and we've not had a highlight yet, apart from the very interesting kickoff. I guess this is no bad thing in a game where we were expected to get beaten. If we can just keep the game nice and boring, keep hold of the ball, and just settle, I'd settle for a 0-0 at this stage. But here we go. And it's a Spurs highlight. Let's see, can we make something in? No, they've taken the ball off of our backup left back, and we have been left massively outnumbered there, and that is a sloppy goal to give away. We sent too many players forward for that free kick, and yeah, they've just countered so quickly. And I don't know where our right back was. I guess he was maybe up attacking. There you go. So as you can see, we've got the little conditioning meter underneath the names as well. I mean, where is our right back? Can't even see where he was. Right. Well, we need to create something now. So Chelsea are lumping the ball forward again. They're going to score again here, aren't they? Oh dear. This is all going badly wrong. My makeshift defence is looking like a makeshift defence. I think I'm going to regret basically losing the 3 centre-backs that Tottenham had. Obviously, one through injury we couldn't really help, but I think he got injured before we sold Vertonghen. It's one of those things. Do you keep a whole bunch of unhappy players at the club, or do you risk ending in a situation where we're in here, where the players we brought in to replace them just aren't as good because there's nothing out there of a decent enough quality to come and replace them? This is my inexperience in the Premier League showing. I'm very much a lower league manager usually, but you've got to have a little play around on the beta. And there's the new £28 million signing. He's injured already as well, so he's going to have to come off. One thing, quite a nice new feature. Does it show it on this screen? Yeah, there we go. So when you highlight a player to bring him off, it actually highlights in your subs who would be suitable to come and play in that position to come on for him, which is quite a nice new feature. I think we're going to bring Chadley on. I can't remember, is he right-footed or no? He can use either foot, so I'm happy for him to be out on that left wing. But other than that, yeah, I'm happy with the assistants team talk. Just show us something in the second half. If we can get a goal back, only losing 2-0 against the defending champions, that's nothing to be ashamed of, really, for a manager making their debut. I just don't want to get absolutely hammered. I'm a little bit concerned that we're not really creating anything. We're fairly even for possession, and we've actually made more passes than Chelsea, although our passing percentage is slightly lower than theirs. But this is worrying. When we've got so much focus going forward and we're not creating any chances, it kind of defeats the object of having a team that's very much loaded towards the attacking players. It kind of is making an argument for us using that slightly more defensive 4-3-3 formation that I have as my backup. Perhaps that should be the formation that I'm using in these away games against the bigger clubs. Come on, we need to not let them keep having so many chances. Oh, that one was very close, very worrying. The whole defence is exhausted as well. They've worked very hard. I imagine that's why they're tired. But we can't be giving them, we're giving them, Chelsea, so much space to just run around and make us look silly with. We've got nobody forward defending that corner either. Might need a little bit of a tweak to some of these set piece instructions before my next match. Let's make another substitution. What can we do? Let's bring Lamella off. He doesn't look like he's having a very good game, so we can bring Son on for him. Again, I'm just going to check what foot they use. I can't from this screen. We'll just assume they're all right on that right-hand side. We'll leave it there for now. We don't want to go down to 10 men, so we'll give it another few minutes, and then I'm going to try and bring Ganso on for maybe the last 10-15 minutes. Probably bring him on in midfield, and perhaps bring Bentaleb off. Is that how you say his name? Probably. Just to try and offer something a little bit more attacking in midfield. Let's go into the full tactics view. We're going to bring you off, bring Ganso on, and then we're just going to swap you around to make Ganso the slightly more attacking one. Let's just check some while we're in this screen. Yeah, he can use either foot as well. That's good. Confirm that change. And come on, lads, let's just go and get a consolation goal, and this doesn't look anywhere near as bad then. We haven't even had a shot on target though, which is worrying. We have had one clear-cut chance though. I don't remember any of our attacking players having the ball in any of the highlights, so we've really not created anything of note. And it looks like that's how it's going to end up. Chelsea have absolutely dominated us. They've destroyed us in this match. They've had 28 shots. They should be quite disappointed with only winning this game 2-0. Oh, 2-1 even. There you go. We've got our consolation goal. All of a sudden, this doesn't look anywhere near as bad as it was starting to feel. 2-1 away, first game of the season, 5 new players in the squad against the defending champions. We could do a lot worse than this. Obviously, we need to work on creating those chances and not letting teams dominate us the way Chelsea have, but there are some positives to draw out of that match. Good old assistant manager hammering them, and that seems to have motivated them, which is good. That should give them the spring in their step they need for the next match, and there you go. We've finished the first match just outside the relegation zone. Excellent. Hopefully, it can only be onwards and upwards from there. We're not going to play against the defending champions again anytime soon. So, yeah, if you've liked this video, would appreciate a like on there. Would love to get to 20 likes for this first episode of the FM16 series. So, please, if you've made it this far into the episode, a like would be massively appreciated. And let me know in the comments what you'd have done with all the transfer bids coming in from Man United for all of my players. Would you have held firm? Would you have tried to come for more money? Would you have sold more of them to give yourself a little bit more money to bring players in with? I'd love to know what you think. And obviously, if you are finding the channel for the first time because you're searching for FM16, there's going to be daily FM16 videos along with my ongoing FM15 save up the posh. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of that. Thanks very much for watching.